Ron, nice to chat. Always a pleasure here. Now, you went up against Ron as a competitor many a time. Of course, we know about the '88 postseason, Game 7. And then, of course, the Dodgers beat the Athletics. I think the best thing to say about him, he was great for the sport. He was a great ambassador, whether it was in spring training signing autographs for 9 hours or just his enthusiasm for the game. We need more of those. Give me your thoughts there for a sec. Go ahead.
You know, I totally agree. I think sometimes baseball has become kind of emotionless, right, Chris, with the way things are thought about now. And sometimes we've lost some of the characters in the game. And Tommy was certainly one of those. But beneath being a character, an ambassador, and love for the game, was a good baseball man who knew how to motivate people. And what he pulled off in '88 with the great help of the Bulldog, Oral Hershiser, who was amazing that season. But what he pulled off with that team, with the injuries that they had down the stretch, to beat a good Mets team, a real good Mets team, and a great Oakland A's team was really a remarkable achievement. Very few people, I think, Chris, get to live their life by living a dream. And I always felt when you're around Tommy, that's exactly what he was doing.
That's well said. Did you think getting on a plane after that Game 7 loss that they were going to beat the A's, or did you think they were going to meet their match against Oakland?
I was numb. You know, I pitched Game 7, pitched poorly, got knocked out in the second inning, and Hershiser shut us out that night. But to tell you a story about how numb I was, so I wasn't even thinking about the A's, is I got on the bus and my family was on the bus. They had gone to Game 7 in Los Angeles. They were sitting in the first row on the bus. I always sat in the last row. I got on the bus, walked to the last row, sat in the back seat. My family came back to me and said, "Did you see us? We were sitting in the first row." And I said, I did not. I mean, that's how numb we were,
Wow.
or I was anyways, after Game 7, after performing poorly. And of course, you know, we just assumed that we were going to go up against the mighty A's, and we counted our chickens too early.
Oh, wow, well done. Nice job there, Ron. Good story. All right, listen, you're going to have a lot of nice stories to talk about with Lindor, too. Boy, I tell you, made for New York. You know, whether they they pivoted off Springer's negotiations, who knows? But this is a no-brainer. He'll be a live player here. He'll enjoy it. There's no way they're not going to sign him to a long-term deal. He's perfect. Give me your thoughts. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, it's 24 hours later, so I'm sure, Chris, you've heard everything that you can hear about Lindor and what he's going to mean to the team. I know personally, I get a huge smile because doing Mets games, I'm going to be able to watch him play every day. One of the things that you miss being a broadcaster for one team locally is that you don't get to see some of these great players play day in and day out. That's how you really understand the greatness of some of these players. And I'm sure Lindor is like that. So I'm dying to watch him. And the other thing I have when I think about the Lindor trade is that what a feather in the cap for the first big move for Steve Cohen and with Sandy Alderson. And I think with Sandy, who to me has already had a Hall of Fame executive career and will go in the Hall of Fame, you know, this is a chance, and I don't think we should look at this too lightly. This is a chance post-beating cancer, knock on wood, for Sandy, that this is maybe his last hurrah as far as governing a team and taking care of a team and putting together a team. And listen, he's a proud guy, one of the smartest guys I've ever been around. And don't doubt that he's going to really put the pedal to the metal and try to produce some greatness here in the next few years.
Now, here you go. I'll ask you a weird one. How about the two guys they traded in Ramirez and Rosario? Change of scenery, a little more under the radar. Jimenez is an underrated player. They can move Rosario to a different position, play him at third, move Ramirez to second. I understand the Mets make the great trade here. Indians get two useful infielders. Give me your thoughts on who they're going to pick up. Let me hear.
Well, the Jimenez player, first you got Rosario here. Rosario is the guy 2 years ago had a breakout season. Hard to judge after last year in the 60-game season, but it was not his best. He's a guy that's super talented, unbelievably athletic. Maybe shortstop is not his end position. Maybe it'll be center field because the Indians need some outfielders. And Jimenez is a guy that instinctually has as good of instincts of anyone I've ever seen play the game at this kind of young age. I don't think he's proven yet that he's a offensive power or an offensive player in the big leagues yet. Hopefully that will come for him. But as far as instinctually and playing defense, he's as good as a young infielder that I've seen in quite some time. So they get two really good major league players. I heard a lot of stories about the Mets have stolen Lindor. I don't know anything about that. All I do know is that Cleveland gets two really good players, two players that are in their minor league system. And I wish them both well because they're both great kids and very athletic kids.
All right, last thing, Ronnie. Can the Mets, without any further moves, is this a playoff team the old playoff way? 5 teams, not 7. Is this a playoff team in 2021 without any other moves?
Without any other moves, absolutely a playoff team. I think they have all you need as far as starting pitching now to every night. Put someone out there that's going to give you a chance to win a ball game. Of course, when DeGrom and Carrasco and maybe Stroman are out there, they give you a better chance. Syndergaard when he comes back. But I think what the last move I would make is if Springer is not available as far as the cost for this ball club, maybe a center fielder that it doesn't have as much offensive promise, but a guy who can really go get it in the outfield. You're showing Jackie Bradley Jr., boy, they'd love to have him. But someone that defensively will give you McCann behind the plate, Lindor up the middle, and of course, a center fielder who can go get him, which will really help your pitching staff. And I think will put them in a different spot as far as preventing runs.
Excellent job, Ron. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. You stay healthy. We will talk soon. Enjoy the winter. Appreciate you coming on here today, as usual.